Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions MC and producer. And joining me as usual is the legendary mother, Rayceen Pendarvis. Hello, Rayceen.
Greetings and salutations all. I am so excited today. We have the amazing, wonderful Roy Cox with us. And Roy Cox, tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Yes.
Well, I'm not that interesting to be on here, but I will certainly give it my best. So I am Baltimore based, and I used to be a cinematographer and switched over to still photography as of 2002. I opened my first studio in Baltimore, and it was very important to me that it stayed in Baltimore because that's where I'm from. That's where my roots are. I was already a little closer to 30 years old when I opened the studio, so I already had, home thing. I had roots, so I didn't want to move out of Baltimore. I wanted to bring a New York photography vibe right here to Baltimore. So you didn't have to travel all over the country to get a really high-end product. So I started taking pictures about 2002 as like what the hell am I going to do next when I left cinematography. And not only did it worked really fast. Within a year, I had to hire somebody. Then I started a pretty extensive internship program. We've had over 700 interns.
Wow.
And and now 17 years later, my wife works with me full time. We have an editor that's been with me now for 15 years, and she was the first person that ever came to work with me, by the way.
And she's still there. With us. Wow.
Yeah. And we live across the street from the studio in Baltimore, which is great. And our dog even comes to work with us every day, which is pretty awesome. And it's one of those things where we were all in. I wanted to do this. I said I was going to do this, and I did it for the right reasons. I knew that this was something in my blood. I make images. That's what I do. And, so I went about it the right way. And I think because we went about it the right way, you have to remember too, there was no social media then. Yeah. So it was one client at a time, and it's become our whole life. And I still love it after 17 years. I've literally photographed over 12,000 people, which is insane.
That is insane.
Yes.
That is insane.
But here's the best part, and never left my building.
Wow.
I've never had a studio somewhere else. I don't put that thing on my website, New York, LA. You know how?
Yes.
Baltimore. Blood. Yes.
That's we love it.
So,
we love it. We love it.
Yeah. It's.
So tell me, it's a crazy time right now. How has the pandemic affected, your work and your jobs or anything that you had coming up?
So that's a great question. So, as a business owner, we plan for things to go bad. I mean, plain and simple, we live slightly below our means, and I'm not saying we live in a box, you know what I mean? But we live slightly below our means. We take a good portion of our income and we have a contingency plan for when things, if we get slow. Because even with my experience, my client base, the amount of years I've been doing this, plain and simple, you just can't account for everything, So I have a certain amount of, we have a certain amount of finances set aside that if this happens, then we can do this. If this happens, then we can do this. And we never saw this coming, though. This was a giant baseball bat to the face. We were really, really busy, doing exactly what we were supposed to be doing. Client-wise, we were as busy as we always were in January. February, we started hearing about this a lot more, and I was like, oh, this is getting pretty serious. My wife and I started watching news about it, and when we realized that it's more serious than we thought it was, and the world, I think at the time, was realizing it was more serious than they thought, I was like, they're going to close businesses down. And then she said the same thing. She's a lot smarter than I am, by the way, but which is why I keep her. So, but then, we were really, really, really busy. And the crazy thing is, Ian Levan Sant from Fix My Life, her show gets closed. She comes up to Baltimore to do they start to plan to close it down. She was the last person I shot, and then bang, all of a sudden, mandatory closures.
Wow.
So here's the thing, though. Okay, so now we're closed. Literally, our doors are closed. we start doing what everybody does. We start applying for small business support. The governor comes on, starts telling us, well, there's this, we'll forgive $10,000 of this loan to you and do this. We got nothing. Nothing. No stimulus checks. No stimulus, federal stimulus checks. Wow. We didn't receive anything. We got no unemployment. It said, I do not qualify. Oh, I don't know why. I don't know how. It's most likely a glitch or something we did wrong, but still it happened. Yeah. Okay. And we didn't get all these loans and all this. You know, of course there was loans for us, but that's not what we were looking for. So my wife and I literally went from a full book worth of clients throughout, well, I would say the first week of April all the way through June to nothing. Wow. And I mean zero income, like nothing. And I knew we were going to be okay for at least a couple months, a few months, but I didn't want to go that far. Of course, I don't want to eat into my I mean, I don't want to eat into my savings. Savings is savings, so I want to always have my savings. Yeah. And when it got to be, I think the most worried I was, because we, you know, now we're in our house. I'm not shooting pictures. We're used to be, now the good thing for us is we don't have children. Okay. So that takes a huge layer of stress that a lot of other people had that we don't have. We only have ourselves to, you know, to look out for. And we're also used to living together, working together. So when you're slammed in the house, you know, I mean, friends of mine were like, oh my God, I'm with my wife every day, all day, you know, and you don't get that time away. Yeah. We're used to it. We're together all the time. So, you know, we're kind of used to it. We kept each other sane. But I'm not going to lie, it's a scary time because I thought that even if they lifted restrictions, nobody wants to come in. Nobody wants to touch anybody. Nobody wants to handshake. Who wants to be standing in front of me taking a photo at first? Because we didn't know, you know, wearing masks. And you just didn't know what was going to happen. And I'm not going to lie, I thought my entire summer might be gone. Wow. And that's just not... That can't happen. For us, that, you know, that just can't happen. Our entire livelihood is that studio. And there's no working from home for me. Yeah. I need you to, right. I'm either on location shooting or you're in my studio. Yeah. And I remember like, you know, the people that I lease my, my space from and all that, they were really cool, but I'm watching people like on my floor shut their doors for good. After just a few weeks, and I'm like, wow, this is for real. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. And, but you know, I think the key for us was we have good family support and we do have people that we can count on that look out for us. And I think the biggest thing was every day my wife and I would watch the news and you just would look at how bad it was in Italy and you look at how bad it was in New York, of course. And we just kept saying, it's not so bad for us as they have it. Yeah. Meaning it could be so much worse, but it's not, you know, meaning it's bad. And it's bad that we're not making money right now, but we do not have children that we have to look at and say, oh my God, I don't have any money, you know, and we weren't sick. Aaron and I, you know, we're not sick. We're healthy. And I really think at a time like that, you just can't ask for much more than that.
Definitely.
So I love the way you're looking at that and the way you're like myself. Always look on the brighter side of things.
I try. Now my wife is better at that than I am. Okay. So there's days, and you know what else? Let me tell you something that was really weird. So every small business owner you always have that feeling when you have a slow time that, is this the beginning of the end? Is this the beginning of the end? Why is there nobody? Like I would go to my wife and look at the schedule like say 6 weeks from now and say, I don't understand why this week isn't booked. What's going on? She's like, would you calm down? Like, it's just a slow week. And I'm like, yeah, but why? I want to know why that is. When the coronavirus thing happened and we were forced to shut down, I almost got this overwhelming sense of calm because the whole world was forced to stop. Not just me. The whole world had to come to a halt. And for the first time, it was really weird. Like I didn't worry as much as I usually did because there was nothing I could do about it. There's no marketing more. There's no taking better photos. There's no doing better client relations because you could literally be on top of your game, the Michael Jordan of this, and you still can't go to work tomorrow.
And and it was the wonderful thing about this, it was an equalizer for everyone.
Yes.
It put everybody on the same playing field for the first time ever.
Yes.
And it was like, oh, really? We don't care how rich you are. We don't care if you're a Republican, you're a Democrat, independent, or anything else.
Absolutely. And
everybody is on the same playing field.
Absolutely. And we have so many clients that we would see posts from who, a large portion of our business comes from salon owners all throughout DC, Virginia, Maryland, people who own salon, hairstylists, makeup artists. We are all shut down. And, and I personally know people who can't go more than a week or 10 days without getting their money, and it's, they have 2-3 kids and they have responsibilities just like we do, but it just forced us all to shut down. So at best, I think it allowed me just to turn my focus to, hey, we're safe, we're healthy, and there's nothing we can do about it until they allow us to go back to work. So why sit at home just freaking out about this when I can't change this?
Right. So as an artist, what have you been creating? Have you been creating?
Well, the weird thing was I had even though we have a photo editor, when I have time to do things, I keep photos in-house because there's no sense paying out for, my editor when I don't have to. And, she was shut down all of a sudden, and my photo editor is really high end. I mean, she does all the learner stuff you see when you go into the mall, the Express store, ads, you see, Gap, Allure magazine. I mean, she's no joke. And, and she called me up and she goes, do you guys have any work right now? I'm like, no, we don't have any work right now. We're all shut down right now. But I had a huge amount of editing to do that kept me busy. I remember about the first, I would say 7 to 10 days into the closure. So, this is the very end of March, flipping into April. I was sitting right here where I am right now, which is my home office, editing 6-8 hours a day. And that helped me still, because I remember telling my wife, I'm like, I'm surprisingly busy for not being busy. You know what I mean? And that kept us really busy for a week or so. And then I'm like, I'm going to get all this time to work on my website that I've been wanting to do this too. I didn't get any of that time. I did all this post-production stuff. And then there was clients who we had cancellations on the book, of course. People started dropping off. And then I had a couple of those rebel clients that are like, well, I want to wait and see if this is not a quick hold. Meaning everybody's closed, but Thursday, we're just kidding. We're going to open back up. So they didn't want to come off the schedule. And I'm like, listen, I think April's pretty much a wash. You know what I mean? So we had a lot of post-production stuff to do. And then we had some clients who were planning stuff for another part of the year. And we kind of worked on that a little bit. But you know what we did a lot? We took the dog. We hiked. We spent a lot of time here at the house. I fixed some things that she's been killing me to fix.
Yes.
Look, you have no excuse right now. You have got to fix the sink.
Your wife has snuck behind you with the camera. She
right?
Yes.
Yes, that's my wife right there. She does Pilates in the living room at night.
I don't miss a beat.
Same.
I didn't even see her. You did, yeah.
Oh, yes, we did.
So she does Pilates every night here. Yeah, that's why she's so friggin' amazing. But we spent a lot of time together, and I also had a chance to do some things on social media that we just don't get to do. I had a question and answer thing I did with a lot of people that follow us.
Well, that's wonderful. Look, call her in. Shoot her in an interview real quick. Tell her come on in for
Aaron.
a second. Since she's popped in, we have to do it correctly, Tell her come on in.
She's going to come in like, oh, my this whole thing.
Have her pop in.
Yeah, they want to see you real quick.
Say hi to everyone.
And this is our child.
Oh, lovely. Oh, what a cutie.
This one here is more known than I am now. People will see pictures of me on social media. So this is Erin.
We didn't want to be rude.
She runs the show. She runs the whole studio. Yes. She does all the client relations. She's far prettier than I am. And for some weird reason, she stays with me every day. So her and this one are everything to me. So
we love them. We've been talking about them the whole time. So, we didn't want to be rude without giving them.
Yes, we have to invite you. Behind every great man, there's a greater woman.
Yes. And they're really cute.
It's true. She's so good at what she does at the studio that we literally have people who will send thank yous specifically to Erin. Because, when she first started, she's been there how many years?
12 or 13.
Even though she's been with me since the very beginning,
wow.
She started working with me 12 or 13 years ago, full time. She has a master's degree. She's way smarter than I am. You know what I mean? But it was pretty thankless for her at first because it was always Roy Cox and Roy Cox and Roy Cox, and nobody really knew she was the one doing this and doing that. And, people would call up and be like, they would send Erin an email, literally not realizing it's Erin, saying, "Thank you, Roy."
Oh, wow.
And she's like, "Roy didn't send you that 4-page creative brief. I did." You know what I mean? But now
Erin, I've seen all the emails and you've been on it.
Yes, I am good at that. I'm a little like over organized at times.
Yes.
I don't like to make people wait for anything.
And we appreciate it.
Erin even has taught some people how to do their job better. We've had literally people who plan shoots for companies call up. I ended up not even getting the project, but they're like, "Oh, these are really great points, Erin. I need to look for this in the other photographer that's cheaper." You know what I mean? And she's like, "Great, thanks. Glad I could be of assistance to you." You know what I mean?
Now I'm gonna go make dinner.
Now she's making dinner.
Okay, bye.
So you're lucky you got her on there at all because she does not let me photograph her at all. Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, we're glad we got her on camera. Well, we're about to close out. We're hitting that 20-minute mark. So I want you to, allow our audience, how can they follow you? How can they keep in touch? How can they see all your work, see, all the works that you've done with great clients as well and everything? How can they find all of that?
The best way to see our whole catalog of work, or at least what's on the website, is to go to the website, which is the www.4-optic, which is optic.com. And then on Instagram, it's Roy Cox Studio. And on Facebook, it's Roy Cox Studio. On Instagram, we're constantly posting behind the scenes of me on the set. We just had some people running for Congress came in today that are going to help change DC politics.
We love it. We love it.
I just photographed her today, and she's an amazing woman. So, but you get to see all kind of behind the scenes. You'll end up liking Indy, my dog, far more than me. But yeah, Instagram, and then check out the website. You can see lots of really cool shots in there. It's the cream of 17 years worth of work. So. It's really cool.
Awesome. Roy, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, this is great.
Such a pleasure chatting with you. Amazing.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But most of all, thank everyone for watching.